Gawds. 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 Okay, so I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce Gawds because I'm a middle-class English person, but I think the idea is Frankie and Courier blade gods, and it's got a bit of gang twang on it. So this is the Gawds Michel Prado boot, and we're going to take a closer look at it. So first thing to talk about is sizing. Let's talk about sizing. With some of this stuff, like this is this kind of power slide umbrella of brands, including Gawds and including USD. A lot of the time it's good to look at the EU sizing of the skate rather than the UK or the US sizing, because it is a brand made in Germany and it tends to be more accurate that way. So what I would do is I'm usually an E41 or 42, and I would buy the 41 or 42. In actual fact, I just tried the 41 on, and it felt a little bit small. So if you think you're taking a risk by going smaller in this skate, don't take the risk. I would go for I'd kind of round the size up and take the bigger one because it did feel a little tight on the toes. Okay, so let's take a look at the spec for the skate. Starting on the inside, they've got this really thick insole. I've not seen that before from a power slide product. It's got a USD logo on the bottom of it. Really thick, like a shock absorber. It's almost like as thick as one of those Razor or Solomon shock absorbers in a way. Not quite as thick, but really good shock absorption. The skate itself is a integrated liner skate. So this means you can't take the liner out of the skate. It's all one piece. And the good thing about that is it makes the skate closer to you, closer to your foot. It means that you've got more control over the skate when you're skating. It's more responsive. So the disadvantage of that sometimes with skates like this with an integrated liner is they sometimes feel a little bit hollow. The Gawds skate does a really good job of not feeling hollow. It's built very solid. Like it feels like the plastic underneath here is thick and shock absorbing, and it definitely feels like a really solid skate when you put it on. Okay, so the liner is a heat moldable liner. They don't shout about this, but you can heat mold it by putting it in the oven about 80 degrees Celsius and leave it for about 12 minutes. Don't leave it too long. It's not a pizza. You can't recover these if you burn them. Okay, can't recover a pizza either, but you can put in a new one. Okay, so it's quite hard, the lining, when you feel it with your hands like this. So when you first put the skate on, it might feel a little bit unforgiving on your ankles. Yeah, do actually heat mold it. It does work. So onto the cuff and the buckle. It's just a normal plastic buckle. Nothing to shout about there. The cuffs here, they've got this kind of small size cuff rivet that you might not used to be seeing on these sorts of skates. It makes it all more compact, much more neat. I quite like it. The cuff itself is similar to that you see on some of the power slide high-end freestyle skates, like the power slide Hardcore Evo and the power slide Teo. Yeah, it looks great. And then the boot itself, so it's not a carbon fiber boot underneath the skin. It's a carbon free FREE. So it's carbon composite, which is like a plastic. And a lot of the riders actually prefer to have a plastic boot on an aggressive skate just because of its shock absorbing abilities. I mean, it's totally personal preference. Some people will prefer carbon fiber because it's a bit lighter. So it's up to the individual, but the Gawds skate is a plastic carbon composite underneath. This skin over the top, if that's what you want to call it, it's really nicely finished. It looks like a kind of basketball shoe or something. I think that's what they were going for. Yeah, it feels really nice and soft as well. It feels really thick. Like the quality is great. Got the standard mid strap there and standard laces. Onto the sole kit. The original Gawds skate, which was the Frankie Morales skate, came with the main difference between that and a USD carbon free was that it had this unique Gawds sole kit, which was completely like reversible. You could put one on one skate and one on the other, and then switch them over once one got worn down. Michel Prado has chosen to go for a USD 7 sole kit. It's got the USD logo on the bottom here. That's his setup of choice, and yeah, it's a really good sole kit. It's very wide, the USD 7 sole kit. It's like a big old platform underneath your foot. You're not going to miss many tricks on it. I remember I skated this sole kit before on some USD 7s, and I really enjoyed that groove. I thought it was great for backslides and great for torque slides. It's one of the best grooves I've ever skated, actually. The boot comes as a boot only, like this. So obviously if you want frames, wheels, bearings, then you can go on the relevant page on LocoSkates and pick up your frames, wheels and bearings. Give us a call if you're struggling with anything there. In terms of like the branding on the skate, it's been pointed out that Michael, or Michel, his name has been spelt a couple of different ways on the branding on the skate. It's not a typo, apparently. They're just accounting for the fact that you can say his name differently in Portuguese. He's from Brazil. Or in Spanish, he lives in Spain. Or in English, so you can say Michael Prado, you can say Michel Prado. Anyway, they're available now from LocoSkates.com.